What's up, everybody? I am back one more time tonight. I'm going to do this Empire review, and I'm not going to bother y'all anymore tonight, y'all. I just wanted to tell y'all, in case anybody cares, it's very difficult for me to get these videos up on Wednesday night or Thursday because I do work a full-time job and I also do a radio show. So it's hard for me to get in and watch all three of these shows, or even to watch just one of them and get the videos up in time, because I'm always involved in something. So I thank you for your patience, and if you just bear with me, I'm getting better. I am trying to get better. I'm trying to at least get to a point where I can upload my videos by the next day. I don't know how it's going to happen. If I have to take my tablet to work and watch the videos at work, I will, but I'm going to have to do better. Okay. Because I'm tired of seeing everybody else's videos out before mine, and it just makes me look like a slacker. But anyway, this is my review of Empire Season 3, Episode 15, Civil Hands Unclean. Okay, we got a lot of things going on in this episode. It gets explosive. Look, let me just start, okay? It starts off with Jamal being in the studio with Lucius. Lucius is actually playing the piano, and they're trying to lay the track for Jamal's last song on his When Cookie Met Lucius album. It's not working out too well because Jamal is not feeling the song, and Lucius isn't feeling Snoop's artist because Snoop Dogg is in the studio with them. But Snoop has brought this artist, I think his name is Tommy, and Lucius is not feeling Tommy singing the song. So Lucius runs everybody that he doesn't know out of the studio. For some reason, he's very frustrated. Then Cookie calls Lucius out to talk to him about what happened with her and Angelo. You know, the fact that they broke up, because she thought he had heard about them breaking up, but it turns out that he didn't know anything about it. Lucius seems rather aloof about the fact that they broke up. He just tells him, "I'm sorry to hear that, Cookie." Then the next thing you know, Juliana comes in the room and interrupts. As a matter of fact, she comes in there 2 or 3 times to interrupt because she needs him to come in on a meeting that they're about to have. Cookie is pissed. So Juliana keeps calling Lucius sweetheart, darling, and all this crap, you know, trying to make Cookie jealous, apparently. So then Lucius, Thirsty, and Juliana are actually meeting up with Snoop and his artist named October London in their studio about whether or not to put Jamal on the Inferno album for the Vegas deal. Now, Lucius doesn't want Jamal on the project at all, but Snoop won't get on board without Jamal on it. So Lucius decides, okay, well, I will get Jamal, or I try to. So Lucius tries to convince Jamal to be on the Inferno project, but Jamal doesn't want to have anything to do with it. He tells Lucius, look, you go ahead on and do your Inferno project, and I'm going to do When Cookie Met Lucius. So then Cookie shows up to the wash interior to go and see Andre. She got on this chinchilla coat, and everybody in the studio looking at her because she looked like a pimp from like way back. So she goes there where Andre is, and he comes from the back room, from some room, a door in the wash interior, in the laundromat, y'all. What we say down here in the South is wash interior, but it's a laundromat. Anyway, he comes out and he talks to Cookie, and Cookie basically was warned by Nessa that Dre was going to do something crazy. So that's why Cookie went there to talk to him. So anyway, Dre plays real dumb, but see, Cookie ain't no fool, and she tells him she'll burn that bee down if he don't stop what he's trying to do. She said, "What's going on in here? Show me what's going on." So anyway, she bursts into the room that he just came out of, and in this room is Shine and his boys, and they all up in there doing some shady business. They got all these weapons and stuff, and they're getting ready to go and handle something, to try to do something to Lucius. Turns out that Cookie knows just about everybody in the room. They from Philly, so I'm going to call them the Philly crew. She's speaking to everybody down home. Everybody respects Cookie, too. And Dre doesn't seem to care too much for the fact that Cookie has so much respect. And she walks in the room and she starts running things just like that. She takes the control from Dre immediately. So Dre tells Cookie that he's tired of Lucius betraying him or screwing him over. He says Vegas belongs to him. Cookie warns him that Juliana is trash and she took him for a fool. He says nobody takes him for a fool. But anyway, Cookie gives everybody in the room a Philly family pep talk to inspire them to get on board with doing Vegas with the Lion family. So she's trying to talk everybody in there into doing things her way. Her way is the better way. She even gets Shine on board. She convinces Shine, you know, we family. We go way back. You like a distant cousin to me. She assures him that she's got his back. I'm going to take care of you. So like I said, they seem to respect Cookie, and she invites them all over to her house for a Cookie family dinner. They agree to come. They more than happy to come to Cookie's house and eat. But Dre's sitting there disgusted. And Dre has this bad attitude through the whole episode. If you notice from beginning to end, he is just disgusted with everything and everybody. He's in a bad place. So anyway, but Cookie controls this situation and she stops them from doing something crazy. All right. So then you see Lucius and Hakeem having a talk about Bella. Now Hakeem wants his name to be on the birth certificate because he says he the daddy and he's ready to be a father to Bella. And Lucius says it doesn't matter that your name is on the birth certificate. You're not ready yet. So anyway, Hakeem reluctantly, he just kind of gives in at that point. Angelo is bothering Lucius while they're there talking. While he's talking to Hakeem, he hears a bunch of noise out on the floor of the club because they're actually in the club at this point. And Angelo done sent the fire marshals over to the club to close Lucius' club down. When Lucius gets out on the floor, Angelo is sitting out there with his goons getting drunk. He done sent them over there for some bogus fire code violation. So remember what happened in the last episode. Cookie they broke up last week. They broke up last week. And so Angelo is on a mission to get Cookie back because she hurt him. Okay? So he's doing everything he can to try to mess things up for Lucius and for Cookie. All right? So then Cookie is back at Lucius's office, y'all. They're talking about Angelo and what happened at the club. Lucius is mad and he really wants to kill Angelo. But he tells her he wants to get Angelo back. But Cookie tries to calm him down and suggests that they fix the situation together. They are interrupted by Nika this time, who's getting ready to go to a hotel and stay. And she needs to go to his house to grab her things. I guess she needs him to go over there and, I don't know. But she tells him, I need you, if you got a minute, I need to go to the house and get my things. So while they're in there, there's Cookie, there's Anika, and then in pops Juliana. And she comes in to tell Lucius that she's headed to the airport because she's on her way to Vegas. Lucius tells Anika to just move back into the mansion since Juliana's about to leave. And then apparently, Juliana has been staying with Lucius. So we already know what they've been doing. So Cookie's sitting there looking like, wait a minute now, Juliana's been staying with you. And now you're going to let Anika move back in the house? So Cookie's like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. She tells him, she said, I'll talk to you about Angelo later. And she leaves. So then Anika sneers at Lucius and Juliana and she leaves too. Lucius embraces and he passionately kisses Juliana right there in front of Anika. Anika stands there and looks at him for a little while. Strange situation. Lucius had all his women in the office at one time. Now that's a player. That is a player right there. But anyway, so back at Hakeem's place, he's on the floor whining about wanting to be a father to Bella while Tori and Tasha, I hate this scene. I hate when they show Tiana and whoever bumping uglies. And they just show everything on Empire, but very uncomfortable. They over in the tub canoodling and having all kind of lesbian contact in the tub. And Hakeem tells them that he ought to kidnap Bella. But they ain't paying him no attention. They like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? They too busy getting it on in the tub, of course. So at some point, he eventually joins them in the tub. It's just something about seeing Hakeem in any kind of sexual situation, whether it be with two other women or just one woman or what. It's just kind of, ugh. It's just, the little boy with the big shoes, I just can't stand him because he's the baby boy and he has more sex than them grown people, them old people. It just, I don't know. It just makes me uncomfortable to see Hakeem like that. Anyway, so back at Cookie's place, all of the Philly crew is there, including Nessa, Dre, and Shine. They eating a meal that Cookie done prepared. I mean, she done cooked a whole lot of food. Cookie tells Andre that she thinks Lucius is using Juliana to pay her back for Angelo. Cookie tells the crew to just let Lucius go to Vegas, set up Inferno, and do all of the work in Vegas so that they can reap the benefits from it. She said if Lucius doesn't get things together in a certain amount of time, then they're going to take Vegas from Lucius. See, she figures that in a month or so, Lucius going to dump Juliana anyway. And I feel like that too. I really believe that Lucius is using Juliana to actually get Vegas from her. Because we heard when Lucius and Juliana were in there having that meeting with Snoop, Juliana said she done already did all the groundwork. I've already laid the groundwork. All we got to do is go in and get it. So Lucius is taking advantage of her. There's no reason for me to believe that Lucius really cares anything about Juliana. He's just using her. Okay? So anyway, Jamal is back at the studio when Tinashe, she's an artist, y'all know she's a little pop artist that's up and coming. She comes in and she wants to hear the last track that Jamal doesn't like. He's having a real hard time getting this last track laid. And she tells him that it sounds really good, but he needs to filter out the drums to give the hook more energy. So then, and she leaves at some point and everything, but then Snoop tells Lucius that the Vegas deal isn't for him. Later on in the office, in Lucius's office back at Empire, Snoop is there. And he actually sits down and he tells him that Vegas deal isn't for him after having a conversation with his investment banker. So Lucius says, well, who is your investment banker? Maybe I need to talk to him to convince him to put his money into the Vegas project on behalf of Snoop. It turns out that Snoop's investment banker is none other than Mayor Angelo Dubois. Oh my God. This pisses Lucius off. He looks over at Thirsty because Thirsty is in there too. He was like, oh God. Dubois. I knew I heard that name before. So, you know, he's pissed, but he doesn't show it at the meeting. So next thing you know, you see Cookie goes to the studio to get on to Jamal about not trying hard enough on this last track and about not finishing this project. Lucius comes in while they're in there and he goes off because he's mad about the fact that Cookie's relationship problems with Angelo are actually messing with his money. Lucius pulls out his pistol and he wants to shoot Angelo, but Cookie stops him, of course. So then, because of that, Cookie actually goes to meet Angelo and to apologize to him. She goes and waits outside his office building one day. And she don't want him to mess with Lucius, or she warns him that if you mess with Lucius, you might get shot, Angelo. So while she's standing there talking to him, Angelo's mother walks up with two of her goons who actually grab Cookie. Cookie cusses both of them out and tells them, get your hands off of me. So Angela's mom then starts threatening Cookie about what the Dubois family is capable of doing. And she tries to act real gangster with Cookie. So Cookie is mad and she goes back to Empire to tell the family about the Dubois threats. Jamal suggests going to talk to the Dubois. He says, maybe I should go talk to him. He feels that he can talk them out of the foolishness. And he looks over at Andre and says, Lucius looks over at Andre and asks what he thinks. He's like, do you agree? And for a long time, Dre is sitting there aloof as usual, and he doesn't really say anything, but he finally nods his head in agreement. So, while they're talking, Jamal told Cookie and Lucius, he said, I need to go talk to him because y'all two are always clapping back at each other. And Cookie looked at him and said, that's what we do. We clap back. You know, Cookie's something else. She a mess. I tell you, she make me mad sometimes, but she is so crazy. So after a while, Cookie gets mad and she starts calling, she says, Miss Dwyer, fake ass Claire Huxtable. That's what she said. I was like, boy, they ain't have to do that like that. She called her a fake Claire Huxtable. I laughed. That tickled me right there. So then Cookie says that Lucius should have put Jamal in boxing classes while she was locked up because he's a little bit too soft for her. Cookie a mess. So then Hakeem is at home. Finally, he's live streaming all day to the public about this all-girl party that he's throwing. He shows a film of a lioness and her cubs to represent family. He's had a revelation, an epiphany about protecting family and what's yours. He's basically talking about Bella and letting the world know he wants to be a father. And so he's showing all these videos. And he's literally been talking about it all day live, okay? Then they show Jamal. Jamal meets up with Angelo to make family amends. So Jamal offers Angelo a $5 million restitution check for some Wilkes scholarship fund that will send several kids to college for free. Angelo acts like he don't want to take the check at first, but then Jamal convinces him to take it. Jamal tells Lucius about Hakeem's all-day streaming. This was after he met with Angelo. Angelo takes the check and he walks away. It appears that everything is all right between them. So then Jamal tells Lucius about Hakeem's all-day streaming and about his family epiphany. This is later on, okay? So they show Hakeem. He's still live streaming. He calls Chicken, which is the chick that plays the drums and always is the one recording him. She comes over and he tells her to forget about that all-girl party that he was going to have. He says he wants to make these videos for Bella. He says that it doesn't matter whose name is on that birth certificate. Finally, this is what he says. He said he wants to record a new rap song and a video to live stream. So while he's doing all this, Lucius is actually watching him live. And he seems to be pleased with what he sees and hears. It's a really hot rap song that Hakeem has written and performed on live stream. And Lucius likes it. Lucius realizes that this child done grew up. He done finally accepted. When he said he ain't gonna worry about that birth certificate, I guess Lucius realized that maybe he has grown up a little bit. So then they saw Jamal still in the studio trying to lay that last track. He's still not feeling the music at all. Lucius tells him that when Cookie Met Lucius has to beat Inferno. No. Actually, Cookie tells Jamal that when Cookie Met Lucius, that album has to beat out Inferno and that he better get it together. So then Cookie was walking through the studio or through the office one day, and she walks up on Becky listening to a fire beat after leaving Jamal in the studio. So Cookie goes to get Jamal so that he can come out and hear this beat that Becky's listening to. It's just what Jamal is looking for, but unfortunately, it turns out to already belong to Lucius. So somehow, at some point, Jamal and Lucius decide to work together on a song that would be put on both albums, and they're going to use that beat that Cookie and them heard. It's going to be on Inferno and When Cookie Met Lucius. I don't know how they worked this out, but they did. They worked together. It was done, okay? So back at Lucius's house later on, we're getting to the end of the episode. Things are going good. Lucius and Jamal are in a good place after recording this song. And at the house, the whole family is having a delightful lunch. And Lucius thanks Anika, and he gives her divorce papers to free her, and he also gives her a $25 million settlement. Lucius' mom is glad that he's divorcing Anika, and she hollers out, "Thank you, Jesus." But then Cookies looks up, and she's kind of perplexed. You know, Anika's a little bit disappointed. She's looking crazy because she can't believe that Lucius is actually going to let her go. But y'all, is it just me, or has Lucius forgotten the fact that Anika tried to kill him a couple of weeks ago? Did she not take his breathing tube out and was going to let him die? I hate the way the writers do the script for Empire. They start something, they show you something, and they don't revisit it. They just drop it. I mean, this woman tried to kill him, and he done gave her $25 million. I would have gave her $10 million and told her to kick rocks. But anyway, Cookie is flabbergasted at the amount, and she's like, "You ain't never gave me that much money. You never offered me that much." And Lucius was like, "Well, I done gave you half my company." She said, "I work for that." So anyway, everybody just kind of laughs and they let it go. Then Lucius gives Hakeem a new birth certificate. No, he gives him a birth certificate for him to actually put his name on it, and he reinstates Hakeem's streaming account. You know, the one that Dre took from him. And they show Dre in that moment, and Dre is mad. Dre does not like the fact that Lucius has given Hakeem access to the live streaming account again. So I'm telling y'all, Dre was pissed off through this whole episode. Matter of fact, he's been pissed through this whole season, to be exact. But Lucius is obviously in a really good mood, and he's feeling extremely generous. So then, while they're sitting there having this dinner that Cookie doesn't like because she complains about it, the maid comes in because the doorbell rung. And she tells Lucius that somebody is at the door for him. Well, when Lucius goes to the door, it turns out to be the New York Child Protective Service and come to take baby Bella. They've received reports of child endangerment at Lucius's house. Now, Lucius looked at the lady that came to the house, and they had all these police officers in these helmets and stuff. They looked like the narcotic cops. They looked like drug. It seemed like a drug bust. It was just too much. Now, at first, you think it's Angelo. And so Lucius even asked the lady that came there, he says, "Is this the Dubois that's behind this?" And she actually shook her head and said no. I don't know if anybody caught that, but she told him no. But my first mind says, if it's not Angelo, it's got to be Tariq. I know Lucius paid him off last week to leave. But see, Tariq sneered and he left. Now, I know that the writers of Empire are bad about not following up on the story. But I believe Tariq was trying to get Anika back. He mad because she did him like she did. And she double-crossed him. This thing got Tariq written all over. I'd be surprised if it's Angelo and his mother. Okay, especially after Jamal has given him a $5 million check. But who knows? I don't know. It could be them. But I'm thinking it's Tariq. What y'all think? What do y'all think? This is just a crazy situation for somebody to, in order for CPS to just come to somebody's house and just take a baby without doing an investigation. Tariq, because Tariq is the one that's got inside access to the police department. Y'all let me know what you think. That's what happened on Empire. It was kind of an explosive episode with what happened with the baby in the end. Of course, Cookie and them going to have to get that baby back. And so it's going to be interesting what happens next week. But anyway, y'all, I managed to get that done in 19 minutes. I cannot believe that. But tell me what y'all think is going on in it. Everything seems good and everything seems to be worked out with Lucius and them, except that this baby has been taken away from him. So now he's gonna have to deal with more than likely Tariq. So anyway, thank you for watching. Please click the like button and share. Talk to you next time. Thank you and bye-bye.